Joining us now from the Capitol, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, Democrat from California. Congresswoman, thanks for joining us. Well, you just heard, I think there, Philip Klein from the Washington Examiner say, look, there are some areas where this proposal from congressional Republican leaders does not do quite what conservatives were hoping. For instance, here, they say there is still a mandate in this in some form, an insurance mandate in some form. This thing does not do away with that ban on denying coverage for pre-existing conditions. It allows kids to stay on their parents' policies through the age of 26. When you look at those concessions that Republican leaders have made here, do you as a Democrat see any possible grounds to compromise with them?
First of all, the Affordable Care Act is very popular. Nearly 30 million people have been covered. And for the Republicans to talk about repealing the Affordable Care Act really is very heartless. It's wrong. And when you look at what they're proposing, and we're still reviewing this because they put it out last night and want to have hearings this week, but when you look at this, it's going to be the poor, it's going to be low-income individuals, it's going to be the elderly and the disabled who are going to get hurt.
Well, you say it's very popular. I guess, how would you interpret this? Because I wonder about this sometimes, too. President Obama and the Democrats enacted it in 2010, and months later, Republicans scored historic victories in the midterm elections running against it. President Obama got reelected in 2012, but then 2 years later, Republicans promising again to do away with it, posted big gains in the midterm elections, and, of course, Donald Trump was elected last fall. What message would you take from that?
Well, I'm not looking at this from a political point of view. Steve, we have to look at how many people have been covered by the Affordable Care Act. For example, many people did not know that black lung disease had never been covered. It is covered now in the Affordable Care Act. And so people in Virginia who voted for President Trump to repeal the Affordable Care Act really are at risk now for losing their health care. And so this is a very dangerous moment, I believe, and people's lives are at stake. People are anxious. But I'm very pleased that they're in disarray because the Republicans can't try to figure out what to do. But minimally, we do not intend to let them repeal the Affordable Care Act.
If they do not come up with the votes, if there's no help from Democrats and Republicans fail to get 218 for this, then what? What do you think happens then?
Well, I hope that the town meetings and the issues around health care continue to be raised by the resistance that's taking place to the repeal of the Affordable Care Act. And so if there are fixes that need to happen, well, okay, we'll tweak it and we'll fix it. But we certainly are not going to repeal it. Too many people will lose their health care. It will make America sick again, and that there is no way we're going to let this happen. And so let them stay confused and let them stay in disarray. But I guarantee you, Democrats are not going to vote for this because we're not going to allow so many people to lose their health care.
All right, Barbara Lee, Democratic Congresswoman from California. Thanks for the time.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay.